Hey everybody, and welcome to another Joker's Wild Side. I'm Lobo,
I'm Jax.
and today we got a lot of news, a lot of fucking news. But first of all, how you doing, Jax?
I'm doing well. Clean all day long. Did some laundry and stuff. Um,
Sweet. I was busy at work, but also we want to welcome you and him to Joker's Wild Side, joining us every Friday, or pretty much every Friday, specifically to talk about some soccer. Welcome, Clay.
Hey everyone,
Yeah, how you doing, man? I'm excited to have you here.
doing pretty good. I'm
Nice.
excited to be on here.
Nice. Let's go. Let's go. So we got a lot of freaking news because we got the Super Bowl obviously coming up. We got a lot of news from the NHL, a lot of trades that happened in the NBA, and many signings in Major League. And then we're gonna get into the soccer, specifically the MLS, over here with Clay.
mhm.
And then we also got big news on wrestling. Uh, we had a big event. Well, not really a big event, but it became a big event, especially on social media with the ending of it and a big announcement that just happened a bit ago that we
Oh
will
yeah.
talk about as well. But let's get into it. Super Bowl. The Super Bowl that's coming up this Sunday. Remember, guys, join us this Sunday at the 11th around 4-ish, 4:30.
4:30. We might start a bit
Mm-hmm.
sooner. Just get it up and running and chat with you guys as we're preparing. And
Definitely. But we're going to be doing a live stream of us watching the Super Bowl. We're not going to put the Super Bowl up as usually the NFL is very hard on those that put anything of their content up.
Mhm.
But
Very
join,
much.
yes, big time. That's right, Clay. Uh, but join us, like we said, around 4:30. Um, as of now, actually, it's been all since the Super Bowl was announced. The 49ers are still favored, at least by the pros.
Yes.
You said that bet wise, it looks or people
In
choosing.
in the betting pools, you have Kansas City that is favored by 2 points.
Hmm.
Yeah, I could see Kansas City being betting in the betting world on betting more just because everyone wants to say it's Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, but I guess we'll see, when it comes down to the wire. But yeah, I could definitely see betting pool is the Chiefs.
Yes, like I even talked to some 49er fans at work and even on other programs. They want the 49ers to win, but they just cannot go against the Chiefs like we were talking about earlier. It just them and Patrick Mahomes. It looks like they're gonna get another one, at least in their eyes.
Mm.
Let's go over some quick injuries here for both teams before we give you our picks. Kansas City really have one player that did not practice at all due to an injury, at least till Wednesday. It was Joe Tanay, their guard. He has a pec issue still. The rest are still like nagging injuries, like Isaiah Pachenko, running back, has a toe and ankle thing. Has had it for a few weeks. Uh, Richie James, wide receiver, has some foot injury. Sky Moore, their wide receiver, a knee. Rashid Rice, another three wide receivers injured, an ankle. Chris Jones, your favorite over there, Clay. Uh, Defensive tackle has a quad injury. L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback, has a calf injury or someone like that. Jarek McCannon, running back, groin. Ooh, excuse me. Prince Tega Wanaho, something like that.
We tried that name the other time.
And
It
it
was
did not work. Outside lineman or offensive lineman, quad. And then the 49ers, the only one that did not practice was to get some rest. Was Trent Williams, their offensive tackle, which without them, the offense struggled as we saw during the season,
oh
uh,
yeah.
big time. We had George Kittle, with that toe nagging injury. Eric Armstrong, defensive end with a foot and knee. Oren Brooks, linebacker with the Burks, linebacker, shoulder injury. Ambry Thompson, cornerback, ankle issues. Kayla Davis, defensive tackle with an ankle injury. With that said, to me at least, it looks more like the Kansas City Chiefs have more injuries, at least to weapons and key positions.
And is this
Yes.
injuries that are active and they're not going to be playing, or this is just the most recent injury report?
Since Wednesday, this is Wednesday's report. I did this Thursday morning is where I had all this list set up. The one that looks like may be questionable is Joy Tene, their guard, as he did not practice due to that injury.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else is probably questionable at worst, unless someone got injured this morning for the practice.
No, I don't see anyone not playing because of these injuries. It's the Super Bowl. You may have a small injury like your toe with George Kittle or something like that, but I don't see them not playing just because it is the Super Bowl and these are key weapons. But like how you're saying with Kansas City, is that versus the 49ers with injury-wise, their weapons, like who do you see more Patrick Mahomes taking it to? Travis, Pacheco,
Rice.
Rice.
Rice also did some good
with that type of stuff. You know, that's their main weapons. That's all they really use. That's all you really see.
What's up, Sadler?
While with the 49ers, you know, it's just George Kittle. That's one of the main weapons that has that injury. But other than that, they definitely need Trent Williams, as he's a big important part to their offensive line. But definitely injury-wise, I don't see anyone on this list not playing, unless something happened today or tomorrow. But other than that, yeah, they're all going to be playing, definitely.
I agree with you there. I mean, this is Super Bowl. Unless you're that crazy Raider from the 2002 Super Bowl that literally got drunk and got scared and flew out to Mexico to not play.
Jeez.
Yes. I'm not going to say cost of the Super Bowl because it was more than that, but definitely didn't help.
Yeah.
For sure. But I'm pretty sure all these will play. With that said, we're going to go straight into our picks. I am going to choose first real quick. So like I said, it looks like Kansas City has more injuries than the 49ers. They are still favorite. And I think they have, at least offensively, more firepower. Kansas City is still the freaking Chiefs, though. To me, I'm choosing the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. But in my gut, there's a feeling that the Kansas City Chiefs might pull these off, guys. Like, just a little bit where I'm like, ugh. Like we've been talking about, like a lot of people cannot doubt Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. What do you guys got, Jackson?
All right, so how I have it is 49ers, you know, they were playing very risky games against the Lions and against the Packers, barely shaving by. And with how Kansas City is able to execute on their offensive line is just insane. I don't necessarily know if 49ers have the full defense against the geez, I cannot speak right now. 49ers and their defensive end going against Patrick Mahomes and how he's able to just to find those holes and zip through. I don't see 49ers defense holding up too well. In my heart, I want 49ers to win. Logistically speaking, I think Kansas City is going to take the Super Bowl championship.
So you're picking Kansas City.
I'm picking Kansas City, rooting for 49ers.
Gotcha. How about you, Clay? Who's your pick?
I'm definitely picking the 49ers over this, just because I feel like they are, I guess, on the NFC side, I would say they're probably the only team that would stand a chance against the Kansas City. As a Bills fan, I definitely know the KC can really do anything when it comes to football. But I do think the 49ers will definitely come over this. I do disagree with you, Jackson, with the Niners season. Lions, they were a good team.
They are.
Of course, Niners are going to have a hard time against them. Green Bay, I don't know what happened to them, but they decided to start winning.
You know, like I said, their offense exploded. That's the thing,
So-
is the 49ers defense is struggling just a little bit too much against what I would think Kansas City has power hold on.
Yes, but the Chiefs haven't been playing very well all year.
Yeah, except the last 3 games or 2
Yeah.
games, they will look
Every
great.
game has been close with them. And Patrick hasn't been looking very good all year, except for now in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
When it matters, though.
Only when it matters,
Yeah.
yes.
They scrape by
but-
just to get to the playoffs, and then they actually try.
Yes. So I'm definitely picking the 49ers over
Okay.
this, but I do have a good feeling with the Chiefs coming and winning, just because
It's the Chiefs.
it's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely choosing the 49ers over this, and I don't think it's going to be a blowout
No.
or
No, it's going to
low-
be super close game.
It's not even going to be a low scoring game. I feel like it's going to be like a mid scoring game. I think it's going to be
Tight.
I think it's going to be like 27, 23, or
24.
25.
Yeah,
Something
very,
like that.
very
Very close game.
I agree with you there.
But I do feel like this is going to be a better Super Bowl game matchup than last. I just don't
Yeah.
think it's hyped up as much as the last one, just because
I don't know. Ask the Taylor Swift fans.
they
We're
don't
not gonna
really-
get into
They
that.
don't really matter.
I agree.
But I think the only reason why the last Super Bowl was super hyped up is because it's brother v brother.
Oh, we talking about the
fight.
49ers and the Ravens.
No, there's Eagles Chiefs last year.
It was brother versus brother.
Jason Kelsey.
Oh,
the
that's right.
Eagles, and
I forgot
Travis.
about that. Yeah, that's right.
The only reason why it was hyped up is because of them
Mm-hmm.
and their podcast with the New Heights podcast and the first ever Super Bowl of two black quarterbacks with Patrick and Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those are the really only main reasons why it was
Mhm.
super hyped up. But I think this will be a very good Super Bowl. I think it's going to be as good maybe the Bengals versus Rams a couple of years ago.
That was close. Yeah.
And I think that was a very fun Super Bowl to watch.
Mhm.
And so
All right.
it's definitely be fun.
I know I'm definitely excited to come in and watch,
Yeah.
especially with you guys.
Oh yeah. Remember, guys, join us this Sunday around 4:30 for the Super Bowl. Also, let us know who you think is gonna win down in the comments. If you agree with us, disagree. Why do you disagree with Jackson? But moving on to some more football news. Bo Jackson has won a big verdict on a civil case that he had against his niece and nephew, who tried to kind of extort him, is what I understood from that. Not mentioning how much money and all that, but it was. I mean, for your niece and nephew, probably someone that love you forever to start to do this. It's
Not all families are perfect, I'll say that much.
yeah, dude, and it's fucked up. But I'm happy. I'm a big fan of Bo Jackson. Obviously, he was a Raider and a baseball player in Kansas City Royals, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he didn't deserve that. He is one of, as far as I understand, the nicest person. He will go out of his way to meet fans and be nice to them. So why do this? I swear, people, man.
Yeah, it'll suck that you won't be home able to join us for this, but you can always tune in, and it's like you're right here watching with us.
Definitely. Definitely. With other news, with the hiring of Kliff Kingsbury to offensive coordinator of, I think the Washington Commanders, if I remember correctly, that I'm still pissed off about. The Raiders had him, dude. The Raiders had him, and they let him go.
in the clutches.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, with no, never mind. That's Raiders. I'm thinking Cowboys for some reason, but I just know because a Bills legend who played for the Bills and was a head coach, Rex Ryan.
He's returning.
He's trying to become the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
We will see on that one. We'll keep you posted on that. But
You know,
as I was saying, as Kingsbury has been hired to Washington as their offensive coordinator, they have fired their previous offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Where he would end up, who knows? There's still a lot of openings out there, but we will see. Also, New York Giants are working to sign Shane Bowen as defensive coordinator, former defensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans the last couple of years. So
All right.
so big news there in the coaching world. With that, we're gonna have some announcements here coming out as running back from Rex
Burkhead?
Burkhead has announced his retirement after 10 years. He played for Seattle, and I don't even remember all of the teams he played for.
Let's search it up.
Let's take a look. While he does that, I'm going to jump into the Hall of Fame announcements. First of all, Bears legendary returner Devin Hester has been announced to the Hall of Fame next year. I don't remember. Do you remember Devin Hester, Clay?
I do not.
No.
Yeah.
We just did Did we already post it?
Which one?
The Devin Hester.
Yes, we
okay.
posted it.
Okay.
So he played for the Bengals and then the Patriots, and then finished off in the Texans.
Oh, and he did win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yep. Nice. So great.
LIII, whatever that is.
Okay. But running back. Rex Roman numerals. I think that's 53.
Why does it pull up Super Bowl? That's ridiculous.
I think it is 53. He
53.
fucking knew it.
Nice.
So with that, Rex has retired with the Super Bowl ring, so that's great. Always good. But like I was mentioning, the Hall of Famer Devin Hester has been announced for that to join the Hall of Fame. Go back and watch our reactions to all his punts and kickoff returns.
Mm-hmm.
So much speed on that guy. If you
He's
don't,
fast.
dude, the only player, if I remember correctly, to start a Super Bowl with a kickoff return to the end zone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so great, and everybody knew.
But that's
was
all
gonna
that they did.
Pretty
during
much during that
Yeah.
Super Bowl. It was the Colts and Bears Super Bowl where the Bears start off hot, and that's pretty much all they did.
Oh, typical Bears.
Yeah, the Bears. Also announced to the Hall of Fame Super Bowl. Jesus, I mean Super Bowl of careers. Andre Johnson, wide receiver for Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee. Dwight Freeney, edge rusher, Indianapolis, San Diego, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, and Detroit. Julius Peppers, defensive end for Carolina, Chicago, and Green Bay. Patrick Willis, linebacker for San Francisco. And we got Stephen McMichael, defensive tackle for New England, Chicago, Green Bay. And finally, we got linebacker Randy Gardeshar from Denver. Yeah, so congratulations to all of them as they are announced officially to be the next year's class of the Hall of Fame
Nice.
for the NFL.
Well, congrats to those guys. You know,
Definitely. Also, speaking of hiring, Seattle has hired Jay Harbaugh, special teams coordinator.
oh, wow, really?
That is the third Harbaugh brother officially in the NFL now
Wow.
this year. So there's two head coaches and a special teams coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
You definitely know the NFL is definitely going to get the Ravens versus Chargers Super Bowl soon.
Jesus. I do
Just
not
so
want
we
to see
get
that
two brothers head coaches going against each
again. No, man, I don't want to see that. Especially with the Chargers being in our division. Fuck no.
Yeah, I know.
Now we're gonna move on to some NHL news. On Tuesday, Golden Knights and Oilers. Oh, that's right. They end Oilers' 16-game winning streak.
Oh yeah,
really?
that was exciting.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, they were about to be into a historic. I think they were one game away from being a historic run
Man.
in the
The
NHL.
Oilers?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on, wrong one. But with that, I think the defending champions, Golden Knight, put the hammer through the Oilers and
16 games,
this year.
or 17 games, Pittsburgh Penguins,
92,
92-93.
Yep.
Oh wow. Nice.
So they are tied for the second best record, straight.
Columbus Blue Jackets, 2016 to 2017.
Oh wow. That was recent.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a 16-game winning streak, you know, that was very recent.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were so close, but yet so far as the Golden Knights bring them down a notch. But considering how the season started for the Oilers, they have picked it up like no other. They went from the bottom of their division to top 3 in their division with the run that they did. It is
Oh.
insane.
Nice. That's great. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. Also in NHL news, we got Tampa Bay defenseman Mikhail Sergos, a Russian name.
Sergachev.
Close enough.
Sergachev.
Yeah, Sergachev had surgery to stabilize a broken bone in his leg. It is still unknown when he will return, as Tampa Bay is a contender for the playoffs and the Stanley Cup almost every year.
That's probably a season ender right there.
I think so, but the way I don't know how familiar with you NHL. Last year, after the Stanley Cup ended, there was a player who was really given almost adrenaline or some other stuff. They had to pick him up to get him into the ice. He could not move. He had a busted back.
Oh wow.
These guys play through broken bones, through bruised ribs, through punctured lungs. They do not care.
Like I was saying to you,
Mhm.
if you were to look at the injury list of NHL, you're looking at what you have on that document and just injuries.
Yes, dude. It is crazy. But yeah, these guys are tough guys, so considering that he's taking some time off, I think it's pretty serious. Let's go into. There's a lot of news now in NBA since the deadline ended. But before we get into that, the Lakers and the Staples Center, I'm going to call it the Staples Center, have unveiled, my bad, unleashed the dragon, no, unveiled a 19-foot bronze statue of Kobe Bryant to immortalize him as a Laker great. I don't know if you guys seen the picture. It is a very nice statue. It is a straight up copy of one of his games. I think it was his last game where he leaves pointing.
He actually chose that. His wife, she on the thing, she said that he chose that pose for the statue, and she said that if anyone doesn't like it, to pretty much shut up.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
You don't have a choice.
He chose it.
Oh yeah, that statue.
it's nice.
It's a very
Crazy.
cool statue.
It is. I very
cool
much
statue.
agree. When they were talking about this, I was wondering what the hell they're gonna do it, because there's those dunks where he has his tongue sticking out. There's a few of them where he's doing the fadeaways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, they even got some nice color on it. I wonder how long the color will last for.
Probably not too long.
Well, they have some statues outside their stadium.
Well, they have they have Shaq.
That
They have Will Chamberlain. They got Magic Johnson, and now they have Kobe.
well, they also have an NHL player, I believe.
Oh, Gretzky. They have
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky on there.
Yeah.
Now
Oh
he's
yeah,
like-
that happened last year, wasn't it?
don't remember the year.
I remember that there was some NHL person that got a statue recently. We talked about it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
if
but
it was that.
they all look pretty silver stills. Because someone made a video of the outside recently and
Mhm.
posted on TikTok of like they have it all gated off for where Kobe's statue is
Yeah.
going to be, and they had all the statues. They all still look pretty silver. So
All right, it depends on what they're using for maintenance. I'm pretty sure like it's probably a coated something or other, and then they have probably pressure wash it every so often after a rainstorm.
well,
Whatever.
for them it's probably easier to keep it silver, just because they're in LA.
Yeah.
Because like our statues of Malone and Stockton outside Delta Center,
Mm-hmm.
they're like greenish gray, whatever color.
Yeah, you have some oxidation going on.
But I'd say that's probably a lot harder to maintain, just because
Yeah.
we get snow, whatever.
And
here,
silver
and so-
tarnishes very slowly over time. So
I bet it's not too hard for them to maintain it there.
yeah,
Here it would be a nightmare.
you're dealing with salt and everything and all of the above.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But going on, we have the trade deadline that is now ended for NBA. That ended yesterday, I believe.
Yes, yesterday sometime.
Yes, yesterday, yeah, because the Jazz, they released 3 players and we signed 3 new ones.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
So-
I did see that.
So we lost Simone, or Simon, however you pronounce his name. We also lost Kelly and Ochai.
O'Shea.
I don't know how to pronounce his
What?
name. But
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try that one.
but we did sign Kevin Knox II and Kira Lewis Jr. and Otto Porter. I don't know what teams they came from, but those are our third newest signings. Just in time for, I know, a game on Monday against Golden State Warriors.
Also, their sharpshooter from Indianapolis, Buddy Hield, was traded to 76ers, and former All-Star Gordon Hayward joined first place Oklahoma City Thunder in a deal with Charlotte Hornets. The Knicks also bolstered their team, trading for Detroit's Pistons duo of Bajan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. And they also, for that same trade, they gave up Evan Fournier, Malik Flynn. God, they gave up a lot. Kenton Grimes, Ryan Arcidiacono, and they gave up a lot for them too. And 2 second-round draft picks. The Phoenix Suns also strengthened their lineup, adding Royce O'Neal and three-team deal. Oh, so it was a three-way trade. Easy, guys.
No three ways. We love
Jesus. Involving Brooklyn Nets and the Memphis Grizzlies, while Dallas Mavericks acquired P.J. Washington from the Hornets for Grant Williams. The day before the deadline, it says the Utah Jazz also acquired a few players. Miami Heat acquired veteran guard Terry Rozier from the Hornets. Jeez, Hornets gave out everything. I guess they're punting for next year. For 6-time All-Star Kyle Lowry. And surprisingly, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Boston Celtics did not bolster their teams to try to get a deeper run into the playoffs here. There was a lot of movement here the last day of the trading.
The Hornets is third to the bottom of their standing.
So yeah, they're giving up on it in season for sure. With that, we heard about the New York Knicks making a few trades. That was incited because of their forward OG Anunoby went under surgery for a right elbow bone fragment, so he might be out for a few weeks. So that kind of sucks for New York, but they did make some moves as well. What do you think about the trade, all those trades, man? Specifically the Jazz, you guys.
I mean, I want to see the Jazz do well. They're currently like what?
We're currently 10th out of the 15th, but
Yeah.
we are one win down from the Lakers as they're one tier above us. That's really saying something, just because
LA Lakers
they
are
have
pretty freaking.
crybaby James. So, but other than that, the Nuggets still doing hot, and as far as I checked yesterday, Jazz was 26-26, so I guess their game yesterday that they played, they lost.
Yeah, I was seeing that. I was also seeing that in like betting pools and stuff like that, they were 21.7% chosen for something. I don't know what it was. The page that I was listening in on was all about the upcoming Super Bowl game. So
yeah, but
I know that betting they're favored.
Yeah, definitely. Nuggets, since they won that, they won the championship last year, right?
Yes, Denver Nuggets did.
They're still running hot. They're technically tied for first right now.
Yeah, there's like a 3 or 4 team tie for first.
Just two.
Two now?
It's Nuggets and Timberwolves.
Okay.
They're both 36-16.
Okay, so I think yesterday or the day before, it was the Clippers, Denver, and who was the other team? Minnesota.
So, sorry, what was that?
It was the Clippers, Minnesota,
If
and
they're the Thunder, yeah.
and Denver.
The Thunder, right?
So it was a 4-way tie. Then it was the Clippers, Denver, Thunder, and Minnesota tied for the first place.
The Thunder is Oklahoma.
Yep.
They're currently third right now.
Okay. How many games behind are all from each other?
So the Timberwolves and Nuggets we've already discussed with 36-16. The Oklahoma Thunder, they're 35-16. So
Half a game.
they have. So I guess they could still tie.
Yes.
They just have to play their game.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers, they are 2 games behind.
They dropped.
34-16.
They dropped the last two. That's why.
So-
Okay. Coolio.
And then the Suns, but they don't really matter. It's 31-21 with them.
Okay.
The Pelicans could tie with them as they're 30-21.
Okay. Cool.
But that's the Western Conference.
Mm.
But yeah,
The Eastern
big
Conference,
numbers.
I think Boston's running.
Oh,
that.
Boston, they're running away with it. It's 40-12
Yeah.
with first, and the Cavaliers are second with 34-16. So they're taking that away
Definitely.
right now.
Well, moving on from the NBA, we do have a lot of Major League Baseball stuff that I did not write up. A lot of it's just popping up now. First, the Dodgers did sign Kershaw back to them, so he'll be back for another year. With that, they have made big signings this season, getting Ohtani from the Angels.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Ohtani. Yeah, I was gonna say that was a big signing.
Yeah.
With him moving away from that one team.
From their Angels.
Yeah, the Angels. Yeah.
And they paid him a shitload of money. They also got Tyler Glasnow, fucking something like that, Glasnow, from Tampa Bay. They also got Yamamoto from New York Yankees. He might have been a free agent, but he was with the Yankees, the last team. They also got Teoscar Hernandez from Seattle, and obviously they re-signed Kershaw. There was also, where the frick was it? Two-time AL Cy Young winner pitcher. Clubber has retired. He spent, let's see, this place, 13-year career.
Nice.
Mostly,
career.
yeah, he won a Cy Young with Cleveland Indians, and I think he was only with Cleveland. It looks like. Oh, Boston Red Sox as well. New York Yankees. Okay, so Tampa Bay, Texas. Okay, so he played for a few teams, but it looked like he had a great career. He might have won a World Series or two. But congratulations him on a great career.
A good long career.
Oh,
13
yes,
years.
Yeah.
exactly.
13 years.
Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a bad news here going on. Ex-Mets general manager Empler has been banned from the major leagues for fabricating injuries, I'm guessing, to the players.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah, so that you don't do. You don't mess with the game. And he has been banned. How long? Let me see if the thing says
I'll
anything.
say,
Probably for life. Knowing the major
I'll
leagues.
say, the difference between MLB and like really any other sport is MLB is America's sport.
Mhm.
Like they are very strict with everything. Like they are strict with your uniform, and like you have to have a certain belt with your shirt tucked in. Certain everything has to be according to rules.
To regulation, everything to
Yeah,
code. To
like
code, to code.
they're very strict with anything. So with them, the MLB coming out like that and banning the general manager for that is like crazy, because like you don't really see that type of stuff in MLB, as you don't really see a lot of bad things with MLB. It's mainly like really a respectable sport within the fans,
Except for the
players.
Except for the steroid scandal a few years ago.
Yes, and like pine tar and all that from
Yeah.
back then. But other than that, everyone like is it's very respecting sport with that, because like if something like that were to go in the NFL would probably try to like sweep it under the rug or not have it come to light
As much as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, we've seen that a couple of
so,
times.
and NBA too. I would see those two just trying to keep it away, but like definitely MLB, you can't mess around there.
No.
So
Also in a hiring or acquiring, Marlins acquired right-handed pitcher Darren McCoffin from Mariners for cash. We won't go over how much cash they gave because this is quite a bit of fucking money. But man, I wish I had that money. But anyways, congratulations for them for beefing up their roster. But with that said, we're gonna go into a little segment, or well, not a little segment. We're going into another sport that we haven't touched too much here in Joker's Wild Side. We're gonna go into soccer, specifically the MLS. Clay, it's all on you, man.
No, I gotta stare you down.
You gonna stare me down?
Go for it.
Awesome. Yeah. So with the MLS, you know, it's hasn't been here in the United States for as long as, you know, MLB or NBA or NFL, but with soccer, it's the world sport. It's the biggest sport in the world other than cricket and stuff and rugby, but it's a giant sport, you know, it's huge. And with the MLS, like right now, there's 29 teams in the MLS. I believe it's the Western Conference. We have an extra team, while the other one doesn't. The MLS is planning on expanding to 30 teams by 2025, so just next year. We still don't know where it's going to be, but with the newest team that just signed is St. Louis FC. Huge team. They came in whopping everyone. They were on a hot streak, and they were number one in the Western Conference, like all season long. No one was stopping them. And it was more like fighting for second place. That was the case on the Western Conference. But for some reason, playoffs, St. Louis decided to
FCLA.
LAFC can shove it. They're just Chivas wannabes. So, but I do like one player from Chivas, but not Chivas. Sorry, LAFC. Carlos Vela. But he is becoming a free agent. So, RSL baby, come here. Come. We need some good attackers. To go with the other LAFC that we signed last year, Chicho Arango. Which, since we lost a few players, a big one. He was our captain, Damir Krylak. It's sad to see him leave, but I think it's a good move for our club, just because he is getting older, and he was pretty much hurt like all last season, and so he didn't get to play as much. But with the preseason going on right now, RSL today, we are now 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, with 2 remaining matches left. Chicho was seen wearing the captain's armband, so I think he's going to be our captain for this season. But so with that, with the MLS, our season opener for is February 21st. So not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday following is our boys RSL, Real Salt Lake against Inter Miami FC.
You mean just Messi?
No, pretty much. They have some 4 players that Messi, 3 other players that Messi played with on FC Barcelona. But they have not had a good preseason. No. They right now, they had the most preseason games, as they've been playing since January 19th. Their first game was against El Salvador and leaving them in a draw. But so far, Miami is with one win, 3 losses, and 2 draws, with 1 remaining preseason match left. But as for our home team, RSL, we traveled to Portugal to participate in the Atlantic Cup. This is our first time leaving the country, other than, I wouldn't count really Mexico, just it's not too far away.
It's
but
the same country technically.
Yeah.
So for all you,
we've gone down there just because it's warmer for preseason, as it's cold up here in Utah. But, but this is our first time actually like going across the pond to go participate in just preseason stuff. But our first 3 games were against some Portuguese teams. Don't really know who they are, other than so far we're 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws. As we just won today. We actually stomped the team. It was 3-0, which is great. But one of our players, Julio, he's our striker, our forward. He's scored at least 1 goal per game, which is great. He's super fast, so we try to either bring him at the end of the game or the start. It's because he loses his stamina later in the game.
Yeah,
he's super fast.
He runs his batteries real quick.
Yeah, he's super fast. But the preseason isn't really much to talk about just because, most teams don't really use their starters. But RSL's been using their starters because I feel like we haven't been playing very good this last season. It was like we started off really rough, and then we were on a hot streak, and then we lost to Monterrey, in the Leagues Cup, which was the very first time we participated in a tournament that the MLS made that mixes the MLS and Liga MX, which is the Mexican conference, cup that they do down in Mexico, like the MLS. And so once we lost to them, we were on a losing streak, and then closer to the end of the season, then we went on winning, and then we faced Houston three times in the playoffs, which is the very first time in our playoffs we've actually done a best of three.
Nice.
It was weird. This last season was super weird. It started in the Leagues Cup. When it went to overtime, like when it was tied, it didn't go to overtime. It went straight to PKs for Jackson's penalty kicks.
Okay.
And so, which is weird because normally what they do is they go to overtime. They do 2 15-minute halves, and then if it's still tied after the 120th minute, then we go to penalties. But last season they didn't do any overtime. Not in the playoffs, not in the League Cup. Nothing. It was just straight penalty kicks right after. But last season was kind of crazy. They were like playing every 3 days, which
Maybe
is
that's why.
crazy for soccer. NBA typical, just because they normally play every 3 days because they have an 82 game season, which is absolutely nuts.
It's a lot of freaking games, man.
But so with the MLS Cup seasons, that's going to be starting soon. Some teams to keep your eyes out for the season is going to be our 2023 MLS Cup champion, Columbus Crew, as they defeated LAFC last season. I believe it was in Atlanta at the stadium. They won 2-1, which is a great win for Columbus as they've always been a pretty good team. At least average to really good. And of course, LAFC, as you know, they went to MLS Cup championship. Like I said, previous St. Louis FC, as they were very first year. Amazing. Very good. And then Austin FC, Cincinnati FC, Cincinnati was the first seed in the Eastern Conference. They've been very good the past few years. And then Seattle and Houston Dynamo.
Dynamo has been like hot for a long time.
Yeah, Houston Dynamo has been great, especially with their one player. I can't remember his first name, but his last name's Herrera. He's very good. He is older, but he still plays like he's young, which is great for his age, especially with soccer. It's very good. And, of course, RSL, but I guess we'll see how our season takes us. And then, not for least, Inter Miami FC, of course.
Messi.
As Inter Miami, they are a newer team like Cincinnati and Austin and St. Louis, and technically LAFC. But they are one of the newer teams, other than Cincinnati and Austin, and of course St. Louis. But their owner, David Beckham, he's been the owner for the team ever since the start, of course. And they haven't been playing very good for a while. Like, they've been bottom of their conference. At least, they've been fighting for second to last, I would say. Until they got Messi. Once they got Messi, that's when Leagues Cup was starting, and they were just winning everything. They won Leagues Cup. They almost got, well, I wouldn't say they almost got the playoffs, but they were getting to middle of their conference really fast. Just winning games constantly.
Yeah, we were talking about this when when it was going on, when Messi first signed, it was like he was scoring in every game and he was making a difference for them. It was crazy.
See, here I was about to bring this up. The difference between Messi and people from the MLS is Messi. When he came in, he pretty much told the team the only way he'd be coming in, other than his big deals that he was doing with Apple TV, MLS, and possibly once his contract is over in the MLS, is pretty much when he's going to retire. Is that he could have a possible, well, most likely be able to own a team in the MLS, which is part of his contract
with Miami.
With coming to the MLS. This is the MLS, not just Miami. He told Inter Miami, once he comes, he's going to be taking control pretty much. Like, he's going to be saying, like, this is what we're going to do.
And he showed that he's doing that.
He showed that because the way Inter Miami was playing in Leagues Cup and all that, we have never really seen those type of plays coming from anyone here. Because, like, from what I could tell, it's like just when Americans and I guess also Mexico, Canada, and all that, all what we kind of play, it's like, if you can't get it and you shoot and you miss, oh well. We don't really try to like set up plays around the box. Is that when Messi came in, they were doing a lot of plays like that was like, you don't really see that in the MLS. And so definitely he made a change with that, and I think all teams should really look into what Messi is doing and then try to not copycat but bring it to their own thing, because Inter Miami could be the next St. Louis of the Eastern Conference. And I do feel like with this season, with them signing Suarez and Sensei Busquets and Messi and I can't remember the other player that Messi played with that's on Inter Miami now. They're going to make a big play within the season. Even though I don't think Messi played this preseason, but Suarez did, and some of the other guys did, and you can definitely tell their age was showing. It was so I'm still iffy on them being hot, but that is preseason, so I guess we'll see as the season comes into play. But those are some teams to look out for and stuff like that. But my hopes for this season for RSL is that we do better than what we did last year, at least a little bit better. Make it to playoffs, but prove that we belong in the playoffs. Because these past, 8 years, 10 years, we've either just missed the playoffs or we make it in and we somehow win one game and then we're out. Like we play bad all season long, and you could definitely tell we don't belong there. Like we didn't earn it, type of thing. We barely squeezed by because other teams lost, type of thing. Like, so I'm hoping that we play better than last season. I know some teams that we're going to be facing in the Western Conference are way better than us. I'm just hoping that we play better than last season, because I did feel like we could have made it far in the playoffs and in the season if we played like we did before the Leagues Cup and going into Leagues Cup and towards the end of the season. We could play like that. I feel like we could do great. But like I was saying, we did lose a few good players, as we lost Damir Krylak. He went to Vancouver. We lost Jefferson Savarino. He went back to Brazil. We signed him a long time ago with RSL. Then his contract ended, and then he went to Brazil, played, and then we brought him back. A career, franchise high signing.
Gotcha.
But with our new coach, because we've gone through, 3 coaches now, ever since our main coach, Jason Kreis, left us to go be a new head coach of the new team back then, which was the New York FC.
So what you're saying is that you suck.
I wouldn't say that. But with our coach and our coaching staff, as fans, we definitely felt like Savarino and our coaching staff, they just, I don't know what was going on,
they just weren't coaching to what Severino could do, because he is such a great player, which is a sad thing to lose and go back to Brazil. But good luck on his career, as he's very great. And then we also lost Jasper Loffelson. He went to our rivals, the Rapids, in Colorado. As Colorado, they've been the bottom of the Western Conference for a long time, very long time. But good luck on him. It was sad to see him leave, as he does make quite a big mistakes in the midfield and stuff, and controlling the ball, but he's definitely good at stealing the ball and getting the ball around people and type of stuff. But he does lose the ball a lot, which sad to see him leave. But we did do some big draft picks and then signing another pretty good player, and he actually got his first goal today, actually,
Nice.
in the preseason, which is great to see.
Good for him.
Yeah. First goal on the team already is great. And then some other big news with RSL is, I guess you could say we signed, well, we more like hired back our old head coach, Jason Christ, like I was telling you. He is now back with RSL. He was a player / captain on the team, and then became head coach, and then led our team in the 2009 MLS Cup champions. And now he is not a coach, but he's now director of special projects and club operations, which is glad to see him back, because we did move some other people in our coaching staff. He was actually a player. He was a defender. His last name's Olave. I can't remember his first name. Yes. He's now, I believe, a defensive coach. I think now I can't remember his exact title, but he's been promoted up, which is great to see. But now for a little bit of news. I was telling you guys beforehand is that with the International Football Association Board, they want to bring in a new idea into the game of football or soccer. Is they're probably going to be testing this within like some lower league teams, like college or lower league, like our Real Monarchs, which is the USFL. It's going to be a new card. The refs are going to have a new card. So typically, with the refs, Jax, they have a yellow and red card. Just like normal games, the refs can give you a warning. There's no card involved. Yellow is like a strict warning, like saying if you do another foul, you get another yellow, you'll get a red. If you get a red card, you're ejected from the game. Now your team is going to be one man short for the rest of the game until the final whistle.
So there's no like backups or anything in soccer.
It's 11v11, so you have 10 on the field. Well, technically 10 that can move throughout the field, and the goalies. And so if you get a red, you're ejected from the game. Now it's a 10v11 or whatever.
Neat.
What they want to bring in is a blue card. So with this blue card, it's right now what they've said, the two ways that you can really get it is if there is an opportunity for a penalization against a player that isn't red card worthy, like if there's a goal scoring chance and like the defender grabs their shoulder and they throw them back or whatever, like they could have a chance to score, but it's not red card. It's not like a slide tackle from the back,
but you could have hurt him bad.
But you could have you stop in the goal, you'd be shown a blue card. Or if like the coach or players are I guess being extremely rude to the officials, you'll also be shown a blue card. So what this blue card does, it's going to be like hockey and NHL, where the players are going to be on a 10-minute period, pretty much
Power play, gotcha.
type of thing.
Gotcha.
Where they will not be able to play for 10 minutes.
Just soft stop for now.
It's a soft stop on the player.
The way I was going to explain it, those cards, the yellow and red, it's kind of like hockey, except they don't get to come back.
Yeah.
It's not like the blue card is testing up that power play thing.
They're going to be testing it out as they want to try to bring that in, as it'll help kind of make soccer, I guess you say, more fair type of thing. Honestly, I'm not too sure about it. I don't really have opinions about it. I want to see it more into play before I give an opinion on it. But
as it sits right now, how I look at it is you're able to get closer to bordering like being a problematic player, and it kind of just to me looks like it's adding in too much leniency for it. Not saying that rules can't change or anything like that, but it just seems like they're able to push the boundaries even more and then only get a slap on the wrist for it.
So it's not really a big slap on the wrist, is because if you are shown a blue card, yes, you're out for 10 minutes and you really hurt your team. But if you come back in and you receive a yellow card or a blue card, you are now shown a red card and ejected from the game.
Yeah.
And yellows are kind of pretty easy to get.
Okay, so the blue card will basically just be a pause warning, but it's going to act like a yellow card as well.
It's like a yellow card. It's going to be like a strict warning with a deeper penalization. With a harsher penalization. Because a yellow you could still play.
So the reason I think the other way from what you think is there's a lot of penalties. First, they get a yellow card on a harsh penalty. Then they do a soft penalty where they tackle someone a little too hard, and that does not deserve a red. So that's why I think it's the opposite than what you were saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like a yellow, just with some. It's gonna be a little bit harsher than a yellow, as the player will be ejected from the game for 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
And so, but and then the last bit of news for the league, for MLS is that so with MLS there is a few cups. So you have the main season, which is the MLS Cup. Then you also have the U.S. Open Cup, which is just teams in the U.S., I believe, and I think a few teams in Canada. And then we also the CONCACAF Cup, which is teams like MLS teams will be facing anywhere kind of like in the Caribbean, Mexico, like all these other teams. All these teams we face in a big tournament to win the CONCACAF Cup.
That'd be fun.
Now with the MLS, they are introducing for the second season the Leagues Cup, which is strictly
The illegal
MLS.
Cup?
What?
The illegal cup?
No, the Leagues Cup.
Oh, I'm a bunch of Mexicans.
No. So the Leagues Cup is strictly MLS teams. All MLS teams, no matter where you're at in the standings. And then the Liga MX teams, how we are talking. So it has all the Liga teams in there. Since there's not a lot, there's one team per 2 MLS teams. So with that, with the MLS, with the Leagues Cup, because they are split Western and Eastern, just like our conferences are. So in the West, we have 8 brackets, and there's 3 teams per bracket.
Okay.
And then we have 7 brackets on the Eastern side. And my apologies, there's actually 2 Liga teams on the Western side, just because, like I was mentioning before, we have 29 teams in the MLS. So there's gonna be an odd side, and so on the West side, I would say this is probably one bracket you want to keep an eye out for once we get to Leagues Cup.
Okay.
We'll definitely kind of like go into more detail on teams that we want to look out for when we get closer, because they've only released that the Leagues Cup is coming this summer.
Okay.
They haven't released dates yet, but like I was saying, with this one bracket that's 2, it has Monterrey and Austin FC. Both teams are really looking out for, because Monterrey has won the Liga about, I think, almost 10 times now, which is
I could tell you in a
crazy amount. And then they also have Pumas on
Let's
there
go
as well.
Pumas. I have a few Pumas
So
shirts and whatnot.
which I think is great. But us with RSL, I think we kind of a harder bracket as well. As we have Houston Dynamo again with us, as we had them last season, but we also had Monterrey last season. So I feel like we have a little bit easier bracket than last season, but we have Atlas FC in our bracket as well. But like I said, we won't go into too much detail on who's in each bracket. Probably go into more detail once we get a more date of when it starts, and then kind of do it when we get closer. As we look into. But there are 2 teams that won't be playing until the round of 32, which is because Jax. So with this, this is technically, you can think of like playoffs, like the NFL, where you have your different brackets, but you have your teams that will face. You have one team that will face both people in your bracket, and then whoever, let's just say, if one team beats both teams, they're definitely going to go advance.
Yeah.
And then you have another team that will also advance as well. And so, but it really depends on who all wins in that bracket. But the 2 teams that will not be participating in the group phase is Club America. As I believe the reason why they're not participating in the group phase is because they won Liga MX, I believe, just this last season. And then of course
2023, which is the second.
And then of course Columbus Crew, as they are MLS Cup champion of last year as well. So those 2 teams will not be participating until the knockout phase of round 32. And so that's the really big news with MLS. I guess Tom, since you kind of know soccer and whatnot, I know you're LAFC fan.
Well, really, LA Galaxy.
Everything.
They're even worse.
All right, LA too. What do you want?
I guess. Is there a certain team that you want to look out for, other than your teams, that you have a good feeling that they might?
So when I was really into soccer at the time, New England Revolution, and they won a lot of championships. They took a few of them from LA Galaxy. So I want to keep an eye on them.
Okay.
And obviously Guadalajara, the Chivas. That's my team. God damn, I hate that America won the championship again. I hate those guys.
But with New England though, last season they ranked 5th on Eastern.
Okay.
There are some teams that normally do pretty good. They somehow didn't do as good as they normally do, as some other teams like Orlando City first came out of nowhere and got 2nd.
The Lions, right?
Yeah, which is crazy. Seeing them in 2nd. But New England, definitely, they're one team that normally do average to good.
Yes.
So that is definitely a good team to look out for on the Eastern side. Do you have a Western team?
Besides mine?
Besides your teams that you want to look out for?
No. San Jose, was it San Jose Crew?
San Jose? Yeah, San Jose Quakes.
Quakes, there you go. I know they were okay at for some years, but I haven't really seen much from them.
They haven't been doing very good lately.
I figured.
For a while now.
I know. I know Kansas City Wizards were champions a few times when
they're now just Sporting Kansas City.
it's just Kansas City?
Sporting Kansas City.
Oh, gotcha.
Or
They changed
as
names.
RSL fans, FUKZ. That's what
And that's what we're gonna be saying in the Super Bowl.
pretty much. But Sporting Kansas City, they normally have been doing pretty good the past while. Last year, they didn't do very good.
Ooh.
They were like mid. They barely were on top of San Jose. But surprisingly, Portland and Austin, they didn't do very good either, as they normally do pretty good. LA Galaxy, second to last.
Yeah.
Right next to Colorado.
Yeah.
LA Galaxy only won 8 games.
I'm also surprised
Crazy.
of the continuing success of Columbus Crew, because like you said, ever since the inception of the MLS, they've been around.
Oh yeah, they've been here for a while.
But they've always been decent to good.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that they've won finally. I think this is their second title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I think they've won a few. They've won a few, but I'd say for me, the one team on the West Coast that I would say that I'm going to be looking out for
LAF.
is definitely Houston. Definitely Houston.
Houston Dynamo, right?
Yeah, Houston Dynamo. Reason why I'm not saying St. Louis is because I already know they're going to be doing good. So I don't need to say, oh, look out for them because they're already going to be doing good.
Everybody's already looking at them.
Yeah, they're already big. And then and for my East Coast, I would definitely say, I would normally say Nashville, but last season they did mid. I definitely say Cincinnati, because when they first came in, they were trash. They were like last for like a few years, and then seeing them at first is just it's crazy. Definitely gonna be looking out for them, and then definitely we'll be looking out for Houston, as Houston has been a big pain with RSL. So definitely, I know you don't know a lot of teams, but
No.
for you, make a guess on teams that you'd like to look out for. As you're going to be looking into kind of more soccer. This is the Western Conference. There are 14 teams. So, as you can see, this is the top 12. So,
Gotcha. Well, as I don't have enough information to base anything off of, I am not comfortable making a decision right now. All I know is Real, and that's the only name that comes to mind on that list. And that's just out of ignorance. So I honestly cannot pick a team.
it.
My thought is there for you.
But I've been an RSL fan forever since they've been
I
an
know.
MLS team. As they actually used to play at the youth stadium, the Rice Cycles.
Nice.
And so like my dad's been a season ticket holder since then, and so and then we opened up our new stadium, of course, in Sandy, which was called Rio Tinto, was as we called it, the Riot.
Yep.
We actually used the song that was in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the Riot song. I can't remember the name of it, but we actually used that song at the start.
Nice.
It was called the Riot. Now it's called America First Stadium, which I think sucks. Honestly.
It's just whoever holds the title on Yeah.
But other than that, that's really all MLS news right now. Other than there's been some trades, of course, within the teams. MLS on Facebook and stuff. They like to post those type of stuff, but they only show the popular teams like wannabe Chivas, LAFC.
You know you're a hater when you suck.
We don't suck. We don't suck. You just have good players.
Yeah, they do. That I agree.
But other than that, definitely be looking into more of that and getting you up to speed with Soccer Jacks as we got to get more into this.
Cool.
And hopefully we can catch a game sometime during the season.
I'll definitely take you guys to a game. We'll sit in the best seats in the South Goal with all the supporter section. So
Sounds good. I'll definitely have to get my Chivas jersey on.
yeah. You won't be the first one.
I know.
That's not a fight because I don't have any other jersey type. I'll wear my Pumas.
Okay. I have multiple jerseys, so.
No.
Cool. Well, thanks, Clay, and welcome again to Joker's Wild Side. Let us know what you guys thought of this segment. Any other teams that we need to look out for, let us know so we could keep an eye on as well. Well, we could all keep an eye on. But let's move on into a lot of news here, too. Some pro wrestling. There's so much news today. First and foremost, TNA Wrestling has fired Scott D'Amore as their president and have named
Anthony Sicyon.
Sencion as their president. I think this is a terrible move, man, but this is why I'm not in charge of the company.
Any reasoning behind the firing, or just he wasn't pushing the bill hard enough?
No, I think he was doing great. I think he had a discussion that led into an argument and not agreeing with another head of TNA Wrestling.
Gotcha.
And obviously they had a little more leeway apparently. But I think this was a bad move. I don't know who Anthony C is, and I'm pretty sure he's not a wrestling guy, but that sucks for Scott Demorris. He was doing very, very good stuff with the company.
Anthony Cincione, the second.
It's football.
It's football
Yeah.
coaches, so they gotta see. I don't know if this will work.
Right there. See the bottom right there. TNA wrestling.
All right. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they don't show who he is.
Yeah, that's what I was looking more for.
Yeah, but I think this is a bad move. But what do I know? Also, set to return here, Dakota Kai, after recovering for months and months from a torn ACL, is set to return soon to WWE. I did see, as we were talking about soccer, I was looking for a little bit more news, and she popped up on my Instagram, and it looked like she showed up on SmackDown tonight. Won't go over anything that happened. Also with WWE news, as Gila was set to to sign to WWE. She is now being delayed to join the Performance Center. No reason was given why, so it's kind of weird to hear that. Now we're gonna move on real quick. This is a little outdated because what we heard today. With last week, The Rock potentially facing Roman at WrestleMania, and him showing up to SmackDown and pretty much presenting himself as the challenger to Roman Reigns. The fans were not having it. They were, as you guys heard at the video we saw earlier, and the press conference they had. They yelled, "Rocky sucks" and all that. The old school Rocky sucks chants, and
Yeah, they were not liking him.
definitely not.
No.
But that's weird because he's beloved.
Yeah,
What?
he was normally beloved within the side of wrestling after his success with it all. But whatever happened in the last, I guess, few days,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I don't know what the fans are smoking or drinking, but they are
It is such
definitely
a
not
roller
liking
coaster
Rocky.
right now.
They're definitely not liking
Yeah.
The Rock, man.
Yeah.
And they are loving Cody.
Yeah.
So
And that's cool. That's one thing, supporting like your guy.
Yeah.
But with that, fans need to chill. As there was a lot of hate messages and even death threats to Ava, The Rock's daughter,
really,
excuse me, who was in NXT in WWE. That you cannot do, man. It's one thing to support your guy, is another thing to boo the guy. But it's another thing to go after the daughter and attack her and make her feel bad and feel like her life is in danger.
We've talked about this before.
Mhm.
It shouldn't be this serious. Sports, wrestling, entertainment, it shouldn't be to the point where people are talking about death threats
No.
and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. This is elevated beyond where it should be.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous behavior. It should just be able to be what it actually is without elevating it. It's supposed to be friendly, family fun, mostly family friendly fun.
yeah.
But it's insane that we elevate to this level. Just enjoy what it is. If you have an issue with it, there's a proper way to take care of it.
I say sports can be very competitive, as we all know. It's a very competitive thing to be in, but no player should be receiving any of that type of like hate just because one thing happens. Like as with the Bills, with our kicker, Tyler Bass, with the wide right field goal that could have possibly tied the game against Casey in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He deleted his social media because of all the death threats he was getting.
Same thing here
Which
with Ava.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's because it's a sport. You don't need to be that crazy.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard sports fan, but I'm not gonna go after someone just because they miss a field goal or don't get a goal in soccer or
Exactly.
or whatnot, or
Most you should do is just complain about it.
complain about it like every other fan, say, fire that coach, it's all his fault, or something like that, or that player, that kicker, he's made every field goal and missed one, fire him.
Yeah.
You can complain all you want, but don't
But the
don't
same
take
thing.
it out on people.
Yeah, the
like
same
that.
thing happened here, where Ava had to delete her X, her Twitter, sorry, her Instagram also. I think she deleted everything, which is good. Get out of here. It's you. You do not need to be hearing this from the fans, and
No.
really, if they're acting this way, they're really not fans. To be honest with you, you enjoy the product for everything that it brings, the ups and downs, but be
Yeah.
acting like Neanderthals, and this is coming from another Neanderthal right here. I kid you not, I am. Even people tell me like you're.
But let's just do a little quick close up, real quick.
Definitely not that.
We'll get you a club real quick. Here,
me strong.
hold
you
this for a
me.
second.
I'll hit you over the head if you give it to me. But like I said, it shouldn't get to that point.
Oh no, I
So-
can't put it back. It goes there now.
So you guys need to chill a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm gonna go into AEW Dynamite that happened this Wednesday. There was a lot of good matches that happened. The show opened up with Page versus Swerve Strickland, Adam Page, and number one's contendership for the AEW champion. It ended up in a 30-minute draw. After the match, Swerve was talking about, let's continue 5 more minutes, let's go to overtime.
Yeah.
Adam Page just walked away, said, nah, I ain't having this. So it was announced later on in the night that Adam Page and Swerve Strickland are both going to battle in a triple threat versus Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship here in their next pay-per-view. I think nope, that's not the right one. I can't remember the pay-per-view, but regardless. Then it was the Blackpool Combat Club versus some luchadors that were in WWE before. I can't remember all the names. Lince Dorado, and a few others. But there was a lot of high-flying spots. There were great spots, physical spots. But the BPC, the Blackpool Combat Club, ended up with the win. And then some more luchadors for Mexico's CMLL promotion came out. Big names that we'll review later, as there's a potential pay-per-view match coming up here with that.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Then Timeless Tony Storm took on Red Velvet in kind of not a full squash match, but beat her pretty handily. You could tell that she was in control the whole time, as she is the women's champion. And then at the end of the match, I can't remember the other competitor's name right now. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting people's names. I didn't write it down. Came out to challenge her pretty much, as she is a number one contender, and Tony just kissed her on the cheek a few times. Which is like, all right, where we going with this, ladies? After that was Chris Jericho versus Takeshita. Sorry, it's complicated to pronounce. Great match. It ended with Takeshita, there we go, putting Chris Jericho in his own finisher and making him tap out. Also, this is smart on Chris Jericho's part, because it was his submission move. And as soon as Takeshita locked it in, he pretty much immediately tapped.
Yeah.
Pretty much selling to the crowd, to everybody, this move, as soon as you lock it in, hurts like hell, you better give up or you're going to get hurt. So this was great on Chris Jericho. Yeah. It made his move look strong. And then to finish up the show, it was for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Starks and Big Bill versus Sting and Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
Great match. Sting and Allin won and are AEW Tag Team Champions. And the celebration was nice. He brought his family, his sons out. But the ending, boys, the ending. What'd you guys think on that ending?
So I was absolutely surprised to see the Young Bucks come out, and they were swinging those bats like crazy. And I wasn't expecting as much blood from Darby Allin as what we actually got. it looked like his head was split open pretty freaking seriously, man. And by the end of it, those suits aren't coming back to being white.
No.
No, they're gonna have some nice little blood stains. Might come out a little pink after a little while, but
It's just their prom suits.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was very interesting to see that much blood coming out of his head, like you said. But I don't think they're going to try to wash him. I think they're going to post him up. 'Cause-
Hang them up like some of the jerseys that we have in stadiums and whatnot.
Exactly. Mm,
That's one way to spread disease.
I guess. But with that, it seems like AEW is setting up Sting and Allen. This will be probably Sting's last match versus the Young Bucks in All In or All Out?
All out.
All Out.
So this was rumored initially to be Sting's last match with Allen, but you can't just have it finish like how it did, where you have the Young Bucks coming in like, oh, whatever. So I can see. Well, this isn't predictions. We'll get the better predictions on Monday.
Mhm.
But I think that this will be a really good match for Sting to finish career on.
I think so, especially with young talent like Allen and the Young Bucks who could carry the match with their energies and their high flying maneuvers. It'll definitely be a good way. Sting will come in, do a few things, take out the Bucks. He gets taken out. Darby Allin comes back in, and they go crazy on him.
Yeah.
It'll be fun match. With that, we're gonna go into an update now of the WrestleMania 40 card coming up in April, if I remember correctly. First, Bailey has
April 6th and April 7th, I think, is what it
I
was.
think so too. First of all, Bailey has chosen her opponent to be Io Shirai and breaking up Damage Control. Before we continue on the WrestleMania card,
6th and 7th April.
6th and 7th, perfect. This week, yesterday, if I remember correctly, there was the WrestleMania XL kickoff press conference that was really set up to see who Cody was going to choose, you know? Because Seth, well, before we get into the good parts, Seth Rollins is the champion. He's also the possibility of Cody he could choose. Roman, obviously, as champion. People want to take him off his throne of 3.5 years as champion. Ridiculous. And then The Rock coming in and pretty much challenging Roman Reigns. This was very interesting as The Rock and Seth and Reigns first come out talking shit to each other. You know, you're a B champion, whatever. You don't show up ever to defend your championship. You don't work enough. And then The Rock comes out and talks shit, and then has a PowerPoint presentation about his family tree. Corporate Rock coming back around here. That'd be great with that PowerPoint. But
He wasn't suited up enough.
no, I agree. He was showing up those guns and those tats.
he didn't look like Cody.
Yeah, no. Cody came out.
So yeah, all suited and booted, definitely. And then Cody comes out, and he pretty much yells at Roman, says, "It's not yours to choose. It's not mine." As he won the Rumble,
Mhm.
correct? That's his choice. He has that choice. And then Reigns attacks Cody's family and lineage. But the funny part is, as soon as Cody mentions it back to Reigns, throws it back in his face, The Rock gets upset.
Now The Rock has a problem with
Yeah.
it. After The Rock had just spent a solid 4-5 minutes, 6 minutes ago, destroying everything about Roman's family lineage, and he is now defending.
Well, not destroying, but saying why this should happen, the match. Because Roman's lineage is technically The Rock's lineage as well.
Yeah.
But, like I said, you guys attacked him first with that, as you mentioned, as well when we were watching it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? You guys threw it first. He was just throwing it back at you. And they react like little children. And The Rock ended up slapping Cody really good.
Yeah.
So, in that, right before that slap, he chose Roman Reigns. With that, before we went live, as we were going live, the first video of SmackDown came up, uh, Triple H comes out, Paul Levesque, and pretty much said Cody has chosen, and I agree. The main event of WrestleMania will be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Universal Championship. Hell yeah, which is what everybody wanted. The crowd goes nuts, obviously.
Oh yeah, man, it was loud
Very,
in that
very,
video.
yeah, very loud. Definitely the supporters for Cody Rhodes were popping. But I don't think this is the end of this little feud that just popped off.
No. Ooh,
No.
I'm hoping that we
Mhm.
see it in our upcoming event.
Are you talking about next Friday at SmackDown?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
That'd be very nice to see it all unfold.
Yeah.
Not that I'm expecting much, but
Yeah, but so far that's all that announced as of now. Also, kind of mentioned at Elimination Chamber coming up here soon, the next pay-per-view for WWE. Mommy, your mommy, Rhea Ripley will be facing Nia Jax for the World Women's Heavyweight title.
well, Nia Jax is definitely one of the heaviest women I've seen. So
Well, I don't think that's what it meant. But before we move on into anything else, what do you think of that match, man?
Well, if you're talking about how Nia is going to be pushed, how she's going to be pushed, this is going to be a fight and a half for Mommy, and there's going to have to be interference, or else Nia Jax will take out Mommy or get very, very close. Without interference, I can see. I can't see. There's going to be interference. That's the biggest thing.
I think so too. Also in that pay-per-view, sorry, there will be a women's elimination chamber match, which none of you guys have seen an elimination chamber, I think.
No, just the small clips.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
It is very exciting. Yeah. It's a very exciting match where there's 6 women usually involved, or 6 participants, and the last one standing wins the match. In this one, whoever wins the match will face the winner of Mommy, Rhea Ripley, or Nia Jax for the women's world title at WrestleMania 40.
Nice.
Which is great. With that, Becky Lynch is already announced to be in that Elimination Chamber match. More to be announced this Monday, and I think on tonight as well on SmackDown. But yeah, other than that, before we go into some entertainment news, actually no, with what you told me about entertainment, let's go into the entertainment news first, and then we'll finish with our top 6 wrestlers of the week. So go take it away, Jax.
So I have a little rant segment here. I had the opportunity to play Skull and Bones open beta, free open beta, and I do implore everybody to first go out and make your own decisions before taking mine to 100% heart. But here's my full breakdown. I streamed the game for about 2 hours, and I had full intentions of posting it over on our Joker's Wild Side YouTube channel. And after I had finished kind of where I was like, okay, I'm done here, I was less inclined to even upload the footage because most of the time it's me complaining about it. For a little bit of reference context, Skull and Bones was originally intended as a DLC for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and they just never got to the point where they're like, okay, we need to release a DLC for this. So they kicked over the project to Ubisoft Singapore, and Singapore has been working on it for the last 10 years. And when I heard that this content has been being produced for 10 years, I got pretty excited because I was like, okay, there's got to be something about it. And then the first trailer started coming out, and all of my expectations were already absolutely obliterated, and I came into the gameplay expecting it to be a 4 in quality. And as I played, with my expectations very low, I wasn't even excited for, like, even the content that I did witness, I was pretty upset about. Yeah, and 10 years is a long freaking time to get your stuff down. Um, from what I noticed, one, it's nothing like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and by that I mean the combat's not the same. Um, it's basic. It is its own game, and that is kind of what you're going for. You don't want to always just copy the same thing continuously. Um, the next big difference is you're not actually playing as a pirate. You're playing as a pirate ship.
Ugh.
So
Unless you're off your ship.
yes, unless you're off your ship, you're
In
running around.
designated areas.
Yes, in designated. When you go and collect materials, you pull up to an island and you do a mini game to collect the materials. You don't get the option of hopping off your ship, not even running around to a log pile and collecting the log pile. It's no, you're sitting there skating along. It's like, ooh, a collectible. Time to collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fight up. In the tutorial, you fight ships for like 10 minutes, and it's like an ungodly amount of time. Which, yes, it's teaching you about the game, but I literally shot the flagship for like 6 minutes continuously. There was no physical damage to the ship. I never saw it breaking or anything like that. And it just felt like a really unpolished game.
Yeah. But I didn't play it, the free beta, which is still technically open till the 11th.
Yes.
I don't plan on downloading it, but I did hear about this game a few years ago when they first were announcing it, and I was
2021.
They were actually talking about it before then. We were talking about it in 2020 or 2019 is when I heard about it. And it sounded great. It sounded awesome.
Oh yeah, who doesn't want an open world pirate?
Because I remember back then, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was one of the best Assassin's Creeds. So one, there's some other ones that are better, but definitely the mechanics of that game back then were amazing, great, and it was always fun being in a ship, destroying other ships, and it was great. And then I was like, oh, so it's gonna have that same mechanics from the AC4 Black Flag, and I was like, that's great. I'm all for it. And then I believe it was last year or maybe the year before that, they released like an alpha to certain content creators. Luckily, a couple people that I normally watch on YouTube, I'm Wildcat and Moo.
Yeah.
They
always get the Ubisoft stuff.
They always get the Ubisoft stuff, and they played it together, and it looked fun. But that was alpha, and so like, of course, they weren't really able to do a lot just because it's an alpha.
And you expect it to be not well.
Yeah, and I'm like, this would look fun. From what I've heard, it was, and from what I saw at the time, it looked fun. But now,
and I'll touch on that in a moment, sadly.
I've seen some gameplay and stuff like that on TikTok and stuff. I even saw a guy talking about the game, some positives and some negatives. Like I said, like we were saying, like there's only designated areas where you can move your character around, and there's no PvP unless you're on your ship out of the designated areas.
And also the PvP doesn't happen unless there is a specific event running, which they have to go and collect a treasure chest. Once they collect the treasure chest, then PvP is able to occur.
Then they either lied or they completely changed it without bringing it up to the public, because when they were talking about the game long time ago, they were saying that there is PvP outside of a certain area. So like, let's just say you're at the designated area, there's a safe zone that when you're in, you can't be touched.
Which is just right around the port. So it specifies that you're in a safe zone now. Weapons are disabled. I mean, even when I was out during one of the first missions, there was other players out in the ocean, and I was like, okay, whatever. I started attacking the ship that I was working on. They came in and they started attacking my ship. I didn't get all the materials, and these guys were just sitting there farming the entire time.
Yeah.
I definitely tried to PvP these guys. Yeah. And the most that I did is I accidentally clicked some buttons and apparently invited them to something.
Oh.
Yeah, because like I was saying before, like with the PvP, you were supposed to be able to fight other people outside the designated areas of where you can move your character around, and then you could steal people's loot. That's what they said when they were first talking about the game.
And what that means now is just the treasure.
And now that is super weak for a game because like,
I can see a problem where you're camping like a dock, but you just make the area of non PvP just larger.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a big downgrade for that game because like you only control a ship or you control your character on designated islands.
Yeah, so
you can't really move around your ship. So.
No, you can't dismount from the wheel. There is a ship docking mechanic, but it's just a cutscene where you throw hooks over. Well, you have to try and throw hooks over, which I did several different times. These hooks landed on this ship several different times, but for some reason they weren't grappling on it. Yeah. It was probably just a bug, but then it just goes to a cutscene where they're sitting there pulling the ship in, and then the ship explodes. So there is no going over. To my understanding, there is no ground combat.
There is no ground combat.
So you're not going to be in an area. Disembark, black screen, go to land. You don't even get to see your character swing over or anything like that. There's a first person into third person cutscene for when you're mounting your ship. What they did is they had Black Flag, right? And Cam was also pointing this out. You basically take all of everything that made Black Flag, ripped it out.
Oh yeah.
And you left the ships, and that's the groundwork you had for Skull and
You
Bones.
took its legs and got rid of the whole body.
Yeah, exactly.
So
from the ground up, it starts to look like Black Flag. One thing, or I will defend this game just a little bit. Yeah. It looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, from what I've seen, it looks great visually. And stuff like that. Like, I don't want to come out like I'm not trying to be super negative about the game without playing it. Just from what I've heard, seen, all that, I'm not interested anymore. But I'm glad you were able to give it a try.
I was already disinterested in the game with low expectations, and
so
I will say this just real quick. I left with my expectation of a 4 of a game quality and left it as a 2. This game is a 2 level rating. If it was our version, it's 2 middle fingers down. And it's horrible.
Wow.
I don't like it.
So I was excited when we first started this. When you first started talking about it, it was very interesting because I was just getting into Black Flag as we talked.
Yeah.
But now I'm not even caring. Well, one I need to upgrade my system.
Yeah, you need to upgrade consoles.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna do that for a while. But second. No, I don't even want to try it, to be honest with you. Because...
Honestly, you probably won't like it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even.
Hasn't played it.
It doesn't even feel like Black Flag. Like I said, it's its own game, and that's the problem.
It looks like Assassin's Creed visuals, but doesn't look like type of game like Assassin's Creed.
And this isn't like something that's just at the face value of how bad this is. They would have to start from the ground up with the mechanics that they have in play.
They would really need to change a lot of stuff up. Like being able to walk around your ship, I feel like you could. I think that would be a cool idea for you to do if you're in the designated areas of islands and docks and stuff like that. Just because you can like look around and see what
I want to walk down into my cargo hold. I want to look at the.
Because I know you're able to change cosmetics on your ship.
Yes, you're able to add certain things that add like. So the first item you get is like a yarn something or other. It's a shelving unit. And it helps reduce your stamina, which, why does a ship have freaking stamina, man? But you can't visually see that on your ship. When you're customizing it, you can see where it's going, but your ship is this big and your screen is this big.
Yeah.
you should definitely be able to walk around your ship in the safe areas, so you can see the cosmetics at least. I do understand like once you're out there, it's supposed to be DLC like of a Black Flag, like you said. So I understand of not being able to like move around your ship when you're out in the water.
But they were
type of
able to do
thing.
it in Black Flag.
Yes. But that I do think that's a downgrade because like you have a game that's been an Xbox exclusive for years, that's been super popular, super well kept, updated, especially within the community and everything, and the developers have always been very supportive of their fans and what they are wanting. And that's the game called Sea of Thieves.
Mhm.
Super popular, still popular, and you're able to do cosmetics, walk around your ship, everything, and it's a lot harder than from what Skull and Bones sounds like.
Yeah, so
And
it's not even like the same genre of game because you
No.
play even as a pirate in Sea of Thieves. And I won't completely discount that Ubisoft probably has a lot planned for Skull and Bones, but this feels like a dead on arrival game. If you're done, then I have to get back to Sadler's thing.
Oh no, go for it, yeah.
So you say it's crazy you work on a game for 10 years. Nowadays, you can make the same exact game in less than a year. I 100% agree. I feel like if they were to strip it and start from scratch, and by scratch, I mean Black Flag scratch, you can probably make a much better game in less than 2 years. The entire joke that I was making with my friend Cam was, this game is so horrible. Do you remember Surgeon Simulator, the game that was made within a week? I feel like if this game was in the rotation for, we have 1 week to work on this game, this is what we have to offer. The craziest thing to me is there were several people that approved and okayed the content that we received.
Yeah, well, see, this is my opinion, of course, from what I've seen about Skull and Bones. So, like we've already said, is that they have been making the game for 10 years, right? I feel like they've said they're making the game for 10 years, but they shelved it for 9 years, and then they're like, oh, Skull and Bones, here you go.
Remember this? We've had Eric working on this for like 6 years. We don't know if he's still employed here.
Because
Starfield also.
Yeah, because I feel like with Skull and Bones is like, with how much little things is in the game of what it's been worked on just by you playing it, is like, you could have easily done that in a year. I don't think they were working on that for 10 years. But see, the thing with Starfield, you can definitely tell they've been working on that forever.
Yeah.
Because of what's all in the game.
Here's the biggest offense for the working on 10 years, though. It is Ubisoft Singapore. It is not Ubisoft. It is a sub company that is working with, maybe I could see this being a team of 15 people, honestly.
Yeah.
I will also hurry and defend this a little bit. What we're getting is the beta. And I get that. I understand that we're not seeing what the full game actually is just yet. Here's my counter argument. We are now 7 days from release.
And there's already not really much in the beta. Normally when you put something in beta for everyone to try out, it's mostly there. I would say it's at least 80% the game is there. The other 20% you haven't experienced yet. Like, I guess you could say, like, what the recent Call of Duties, like the Modern Warfare 3 in the beta, you didn't get every gun.
You didn't get every map.
You didn't get every map, but you still got to test. You could see everything is there. Not every kill streak was there. Not every gadget, whatnot was there. But you could definitely feel what was new in the game that is different from, I guess you could say, the previous Call of Duty. But you know that they can only add so much because they've said that. And you can experience that. And normally you do that with betas. And look at Pal World right now, is that game is still technically beta.
Minecraft was in beta for a long time.
I'd say, yeah, Pal World is still in beta, and it has over. Last time I checked was a couple days ago. No,
Yeah,
it
Modern
was
Warfare 3 beta was.
Yeah, last weekend, they released numbers of Palworld. It has hit over 19 million players in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And it's only beta.
that's
still.
pretty spicy.
And they've released already a map, like
Fortnite.
map, like game maps, like of what is going to be later into the game as they release more updates, more stuff to put in the game. They've already done that, and it's only been out for now 3 weeks, and it is. And Xbox is now working with Palworld. They're trying to make it better, give it dedicated servers, everything. And it's only beta, and it's pretty much like 90%. No, it's actually 100% full game there, but it's still technically beta because they're still working on stuff.
Yeah.
But that is still way better than what some other games have done.
Mm-hmm. What I will say as a counter argument for Palworlds, real quick, is they kind of have the cop out of, well, you can't attack us fully because it's still in beta. Look, like I said, Minecraft was in beta for 12 years. However long, they use it as kind of like a defense point. It's just they're still adding stuff. You could still argue that Minecraft is still in beta, as they are still just releasing content after content. But I do get your points.
Yeah.
So it's Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
Right?
it
Sounds like a nay.
Yeah, I do not recommend it. I think a $70 price tag is absolutely
They are
ridiculous.
charging it $70.
$70 is
That
the
is
purchase price.
Crazy.
I personally would spend $10 on it, and I would probably play it for a total of 10 hours on a random drunk Friday night playing with the boys, because that's the only other thing we can do. Power Worlds has died out. Call of Duty's crap. It is going to be the fallback game of the fallback game of the fallback game.
I wouldn't say Palworld's dead. It's very
No, it was just an example of
yeah.
how far down the totem am I going to run before I touch this game.
Yeah, I would only play it if it came to Game Pass.
I mean, you have the
So-
option to play free beta right now, and you're not. That's even more of a pejorative of
Well,
like.
it's just from what I've seen.
Yeah.
If I haven't seen anything, I would definitely download it to try it.
Mhm.
But from what I've seen,
Not worth
No.
the salt.
no. You know what I'm saying? And even Palworld, it's only $30, and they've sold 19 million copies on Steam.
Yeah.
Like,
This is a good
That's
defending
crazy.
point that games should not necessarily need to be $70, but you can
No.
definitely make a decent game
Mhm.
without making it look
no,
like
yeah,
Call of
it's-
Duty.
No, yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
But yeah, on to other news.
Yeah,
We have Moana season 2, or not season 2.
No. Part 2.
Moana 2, period.
Mhm.
So,
So this was kind of confirmed already. Apparently, there was trailers and news about it.
Yep.
I had not heard about it because
3 or 4 days ago, it was right after Monday, or
okay.
Monday or Wednesday stream. Monday.
Okay, so then right after that, at the Pat McAfee show, The Rock came out and it confirmed it there as well. I was not aware there was a trailer, as I have not seen the first one. Don't expect me to see the first one. I'm not a big fan of classic Disney style.
I am.
I am too.
Mhm.
I am not excited for this show.
Movie?
Yes.
I'm excited. I really like the first one.
So,
So
I don't want to get into it too far, but with Moana 2, first of all, what they originally had it set as is it was going to be a TV show. And what Bob Iger had as like a groundwork to work off of, he said, let's make it a movie. So what I have envisioned in my mind is them kind of just island hopping and finding menial tasks and doing them. I don't see a
Yeah.
reason for why this movie needed to be made. I feel like, and I haven't necessarily even watched the trailer either, but I am fully
Just a sneak
expecting
peek.
that it should have been a TV show, and it would probably do better as a TV show. There's not enough weight behind it for me personally to be like, this is going to be a decent movie. I like Moana 1. I really, really did, and I would go home and watch it right now. Moana 2, I don't understand why they would. TV show makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah. Well, see, counter argument. Yeah, I do see your point on making a TV show just because it's going to be more an island hopping. But you got to remember, this movie is not for you. It is for kids.
I do get that. I do get that 100%.
So,
But it doesn't make sense of why it's a movie and not a TV show.
see, adults are going to feel the same way just because we understand. Kids are not going to understand why it should be.
It's like making a Cinderella
So,
2.
And so,
You've already
yeah.
completed the story. That's the thing, that it's like the entire ideal was for her to become a Disney princess, basically.
Yeah. Well,
To take her place on the throne, essentially.
yeah. Well, so with the trailer, it's not really a trailer. It's a sneak peek trailer. So it's just Moana, pretty much. You see the boat come on, she steps off, and she blows a horn, like a seashell horn thing. That's really it. And then it says Moana 2. It is coming out November 27th this year. By the way, it should be coming out. Technically, November 27th is a Friday because all movies come out Friday. But they come
Really
out
Thursdays.
Thursdays at 7 o'clock. But with bigger movies, that come out more towards actually 2:30, your local time, of course. But so with Moana, it's probably gonna be like, this is just a theory type thing. It's just gonna be most likely Moana going off, finding new islands, but also trying to help Maui restore his respectable nature within the people and the gods, just because he stole the heart of Tahiti, type of thing for the people. Then the people hated him because of what he did, and the gods hated him. It's probably going to be a redemption arc on Maui, but also Moana also learning about herself on exploring these islands and her ancestors is probably what's going to be the movie about.
Sounds like it should be retitled to Maui.
Maybe, yeah. But I guess we'll see.
I didn't like the first one. I didn't watch the first one. I'm not gonna watch this one. it's I don't like musicals, and most of Disney's movies are musicals. So fuck that.
Yeah.
At least for me. And it's also, like you said,
musicals.
it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
I love musicals.
Yeah,
but
they're pretty good.
But other, I guess, movie news is that, we have Despicable Me 4 coming out in
That one-
July
That one I will
or
watch.
June.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
It's June or July. It's one of them two. There is a confirmed date. I don't remember what the date was.
I think it's something with a J,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's definitely a J. It comes out this summer. And then we also have Inside Out 2 that's coming out, I think, in April.
July 3rd.
Look up Inside Out 2. That
movie I'm not excited about.
Don't
Really?
care about it.
No.
I'm gonna go see it. But that movie is also coming out
June 14th.
Oh, okay, awesome. Around the same time.
Didn't watch the first one. Probably won't watch this one.
The first one's good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's comical.
But that one's not a musical.
It just starts getting more. For me, Inside Out just gets too real. Especially with depression coming into play. Let's go.
PTSD on that
Yeah.
bitch.
Oh, the new emotion's anxiety.
Anxiety. Yes,
Yeah,
anxiety.
can't watch that
Yeah,
shit.
same
No,
shit.
can't watch that shit.
So, but I
Alright.
think that's the newest movies that are coming out. That's Disney. I don't know too much.
Inside Out Streamworks, I thought.
No, it's Disney.
Oh, okay.
No, DreamWorks is in Despicable Me.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of trailers that came out for Netflix. We're probably gonna do it on Mondays. I don't remember watching them.
Yeah. It was some.
samurai one.
Yeah.
Another action one I sent you, but we're definitely gonna talk about those more on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But before we finish off, we're gonna do our top 10 wrestlers of the week.
Top 6 wrestlers of the week.
Sorry, this week
10 was Monday.
Yes. Sorry, top 6 wrestlers of the week. Let's go 6, 5, and 4. I'll go first. At 6, I cheated a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm gonna cheat through this whole fucking list.
Me too.
I have put Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. They've been going at it back and forth for a few months now, ever since a little before they had that Texas Death Match, which I know you loved. But they had a banger, a 30-minute banger here in AEW Dynamite, like we talked about a few 20 minutes ago or so, where it ended up in a draw. But I mean, everything they've been hitting lately has been fire. So they're my number 6. At 5, I have Cody Rhodes, and I think I put him a little too low, but I like everybody else that's above him just a little bit better.
Oh, I know. I didn't put him low enough.
Jesus Christ. Well, Cody Rhodes with my 5. At 4, I cheated a little bit, but they are a tag team. They won the Fatal 4-Way tag team opportunity for the number 1 contendership for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships that Judgment Day has.
Mm-hmm.
But DIY with Tommaso Ciampa and, oh my God, fucking brain fart, Johnny Gargano. That'll be my number 4. How about you? What's your 6, 5, and 4?
So my 6, 5, 4, I have, and I was really debating even putting Cody on the list, but he is my number 6. So it was this close to not putting Cody on my list. The hardest part was actually picking my 6 and 5, as I didn't know where to put people specifically. But my number 5, Seth freaking Rollins. And mostly I'm liking the fact that in the promo, Seth not necessarily defended Cody, but you have him being like, "Hey, don't touch my boy." But,
Had his back.
Yeah, he had his back. So I had a lot of appreciation for Seth freaking Rollins there. And my number 4, I have Sting and Allen.
Oof, that's gonna be a little different for me then. Well, at my number 3, I have the People's Champ, the great one, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, the one that slapped the shit out of Cody, The Rock. I just think everything he's been doing recently, from him just staring down Roman Reigns on SmackDown, for him, I mean, his little PowerPoint presentation was okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But him, understanding that it was, they started with the poking at the family, and then they got offended when they got thrown back in their face. But that still shows that he has pride for his family. As much as we think it was wrong for him to react that way. But that slap was great. So I got to put him at 3. At 2, I have your number 4, Sting and Darby Allin, as the new AEW Tag Team Champions. They had a great match with Big Bill and Starks. And at number 1 is a team that beat the fuck out of them at the end of the show and left them a bloody mess. The Young Bucks. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Which was a great ending to that show.
Man, I just had not necessarily a hard time putting in the Young Bucks. I wanted to, I really did, but it just...
You're not a fan of cheap shots?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of cheap shots, but also, like, they rank high, but they don't rank low, so I just didn't include them.
Gotcha. Who are your top 3 then?
For my top 3, I have the feud, the rivalry, Paige and Swerve Strickland, my number 3.
Nice.
My number 2, I got my boy Jay and Gunter. You know, Jay, I absolutely loved him from the bloodline from the beginning. Gunter, we have the guy, the towering mountain, who is just able to slap, a slap beast.
Yeah.
So this building
the ring
up,
general.
Yeah, the build up for a Jay and Gunter match is something that just gets me excited, man. And number 1, I have Carmelo Hayes, as he is... Oh, no. Good thing that's empty. Carmelo Hayes, as everything that he's been doing, every place that he shows up, I feel like Carmelo is just killing it. He is an amazing athlete, amazing fighter, and I want to see more Carmelo.
Gotcha. All right. So that's our top 6 wrestlers of the week, guys. Let us know if you agree, disagree. What are your top 6 wrestlers of this week? Maybe we have someone that we completely missed out here. And let us know if we need a few wrestlers that we need to keep an eye on. But other than that, Clay, do you have anything to add before we sign off?
No, if anything, I have something to add. Probably be more suitable for Sunday for football because it's more
Okay.
football related. But
That,
definitely
that was good.
got some stuff for that.
Oh yeah, Jax, how about you?
That's all for me.
Cool. Well, that's all from us. Remember, first of all, take everything we say as a grain of salt. We are three doofuses now, jokers that just like to talk about sports, wrestling, and some entertainment stuff, as you saw. Don't take anything we say too seriously. If you get offended or do not like what we have to say, move along.
Mm.
This is not obviously for you.
And also remember, formulate your own opinions. Don't
True.
always go off of what somebody has to say just because you've seen them on a screen.
Yeah.
We have our opinions.
Mhm.
Make sure you have your own before you follow blindly.
Yeah, never follow blindly. Please, never follow blindly.
Yeah.
Don't be followers. But before we sign off, we're going to sign off as we always do. Remember to be grateful for all the things you have and be grateful for all the problems you don't have because it can always be much, much worse. Have we seen all over the world, there's problems that, especially here in the U.S., we do not have to deal with, which is great. But other than that, I've been Lobo.
I've been Jax.
I've been Clay.
See you next time. Thanks for watching.
See ya.